Hey guys, welcome to the gun shop, and today we're going to be looking at Miroku shotguns. We're going to have a little bit of a look at the history of Miroku, and then we're going to have a little look at current models. Enjoy. So let's start before 1893, and a guy called Kajari Miroku owned and operated a blacksmithing shop on a fairly small and local scale. In 1893 he formalised the business, and it kind of became the company we know today. He was actually started making guns and gunsmithing, making guns for hunting boar and deer in their local vicinity in Japan. Miroku continued to grow with modern manufacturing techniques coming into play. However, there was a few world wars and bits in the way, and as such, between World War II and 1951, the Japanese were actually banned from making sporting arms. However, 1951 came around, the Miroku company was still around, and they actually went back into sporting guns. It wasn't all sporting guns, they actually did make some pistols and some other bits, but we're not going to go into those today. In 1959, Miroku actually took a Browning superposed shotgun and started ripping a few of the ideas out of it, and started to develop their own over and under sporting shotgun. And actually, it went really well. A few years later, it was released. So throughout the early 60s, Miroku was actually entering the world market, and it really did take it by storm. It was very reasonably priced, only a few £100s. It was extremely reliable. It was made with quality materials, with a quality finish, and people bought into it. This obviously scared a few of the bigger companies at the time who were making very good guns but weren't hugely different in quality, but were fairly different in price. Very quickly, Browning actually jumped into a relationship with them. This led to 1967 when they started development of the BL-22, a lever action 2.2 rimfire, and in 1969 that really did hit the market big time. A very affordable, very well made, Japanese made, Browning labelled rifle. And now the big date, 1973. 1973 is when Browning really got into bed with Miroku, and they started designing what we know and love today, a Japanese-built version of the very famous superposed Browning B25. That being the Satori. That relationship flourished and flourished and flourished. Since then, we've seen the Mark 3800, the 7000, the 6000, the 525, the 325, the 425, the Satori, the B125. Many models come out of the Japanese factory with Browning names on or Miroku names on under the same mechanical internals. So currently the relationship is as strong as ever. They're making the 725, they're making a huge amount of guns and rifles over in Japan with Browning names on or Miroku names on. However, Miroku is only 9.8% owned by Browning Arms Company. There's an interesting fact. So what is available today? Today there are three major models available: the Mark 60, the Mark 70, and the Mark 38. The Mark 60 comes in three guises: the Grade 1, the Grade 5, and the High Pheasant. Let's start with the Mark 60 and have a look at it. A Mark 60 has an 8mm tapered rib. It has fixed chokes. All Mark 60s have fixed chokes as standard. It has a double bead sight. It has a Grade 1 or Grade 5 walnut stock, the Grade 1s being this polyurethane finish and the Grade 5s being a hard oil finish. It has quarter and 3/4 chokes, except in the High Pheasant Mark 60, which is 3/4 and full. It has the Schnabel forend. They are all hand checkered, they are all hand finished, which is part of the reason they are such good value for money. I should say at this juncture there are separate reviews on our channel for most of the Miroku models. The Mark 70, although I don't have one here to show you today, is more or less absolutely identical to this, apart from the fact there is no Mark 70 High Pheasant. So the Mark 70 differs from the Mark 60 by having multi-chokes, and that is done on the Invector system or the Invector Plus system. Out of the two, the Mark 60 is usually a winner in my opinion, purely because it has the slightly better balance. It is marketed as a universal sporter in the Grade 1 and Grade 5, and that is essentially what it is. It is a good all-round gun for glaze, game, a bit of everything. It handles particularly well, it's low faff, they come up well, and they handle extremely well. In fact, probably the best handling gun for the price. Not to say the Mark 70 isn't, but the Mark 70 just lends itself to a little bit more of a front end weight. However, most of the other specs are identical. So now the big brother, the Mark 38. The Mark 38 comes in four guises currently: a Grade 1 trap and a Grade 5 trap. This is the Grade 5 trap. And it comes in the Teague Sporter, essentially a Invector Plus choked sporter with extended Teague chokes in, which is very nice. The Mark 38 trap is one of the most popular guns out there for converting or sporterizing, purely based on the fact that it is such a good clay breaking gun in its original form. you won't see many of these that are too original. How this differs from a Mark 60, we'll start with the rib. The rib is not an 8mm parallel rib, but it is a wide, non-tapered tram-like rib with a double bead sight. It creates a much wider sight plane, and that actually is preferable for clay shooting. You'll see a lot of these, as I've said, convert for sporters or in fact high pheasant guns. You also have a higher stock, so this stock has less drop, and that goes for both the 38T Sporter and the 38 Trap has higher stock, so you will see more rib. The 38 also has, in the Trap variant, a beaver tail forend. The beaver tail forend being that little bit more dedicated. The Teak Sporter also has a Schnabel. Essentially what the Teak Sporter is the hybrid between these two guns. However, I generally would say buy a Trap and convert it, you'll end up with a much finer machine. Between grade 1 and grade 5, as we can see here, one has the deep cut scroll and one has light cut scroll. One has grade 5 American Black Walnut, the other one just has grade 1 walnut. Essentially, they do handle slightly different between a grade 1 and grade 5, purely because of the wood density between a grade 1 and a grade 5. Worth handling both, and actually if you can get your head past the looks, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going grade 1. You will notice that it says lead shot only, and this is because this is full choked and 3/4 choked. As such, you can't really put anything apart from lead, bismuth or tungsten matrix through it. So recently Miroku have not been at the cutting edge of innovation in new shotgun technology. This is purely because their guns work. Why would they change a recipe that works? If you can straight 100 with one of their guns, why would you change it? They're very much based around shootability and not technology, although obviously recently all of their barrels are backboard because most Browning tubes are backboard too. The only downside I will ever say about Miroku is the fact that they do not innovate. There is nothing new and exciting, and in fact what they have done, certainly on the UK import side, is really thin out their stable. There used to be a grade 1, grade 3 and grade 5, there's now a grade 1 and grade 5. There used to be more options, there is now less options. But you know, that's just the way things are. I genuinely think the grade 5 Miroku is one of the best, most classy looking grade 5 guns out there. And for less than £3,000, I genuinely think it's one of the prettiest and best handling guns out there. Anyone who's owned one used will tell you they handle like something that is probably twice the price on the shelf. And that is very true. However, you're not going to win any excitement prizes for owning one. Should a shotgun be exciting to own? Yeah, probably. I think that's the only downside I could ever find with Miroku. Apart from that, they're so fantastically well made. Oh yeah, and the trigger pulls are a little bit less than exciting, but they're still fantastic. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope I've helped sort out some of your queries on what Miroku models are, what some of the differences are, and maybe which one you should go for. Because if you don't own a Miroku, you're not my friend. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care. See you next time. Hi guys, welcome to the gun shop.